Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a new episode. Welcome to Soccer Talk. We are live and we are also on Spotify and all your audio platforms, and all of these clips will also be on YouTube, and the full episodes you can enjoy them on YouTube as well. So, welcome to everybody on the biggest platform of video form, that is YouTube. And let's get started. PSG, Real Madrid, or why are Mbappe's options limited right now at this point? Clearly, there's talks that Manchester United could be interested. There's talks that Manchester City could be interested. Certainly, Manchester United more than anything. And it is a club that would like to have Mbappe. But the thing is that a lot of these teams in Europe are questioning themselves and asking, can Mbappe be trusted? Can he be trusted? And that is something that Real Madrid, he gave his word to Real Madrid. He gave them his word. He let them know, hey, listen, I'm going to sign with the club 2021. I'm going to wait until my contract expires in June. I'm signing. And then he signed his renewal with PSG. Of course, Messi just got there. He had Neymar. So they were trying to win that Champions League that never came. Understood, got it. But at this point, Real Madrid, I said it before, they won't let him burn them twice. They won't let him burn Real Madrid twice. Regardless of how much they want him, because they do. Real Madrid really want Mbappe. That is a fact. You can't lie, can't deny that. And he is a tremendous player. We see it right there on the screens. And shout out to MN Comps, JR2, by the way, for the great video. And, that is where the cookie crumbles. And it's interesting to see how this is going to unfold. However, as much expectation as this has proclaimed, as much as a lot of people are expecting how and why and where Mbappe is going to go, really, there's not many things. There's not many options. He can't go anywhere unless he's transferred. And Real Madrid is not going to talk to PSG about. Real Madrid is not going to talk about to PSG and try to negotiate, try to do something. They're not going to do that. Clearly, they're not going to do that. Last time they tried to do that, PSG didn't even respond to the email. So, they're not willing to negotiate. PSG are not willing to negotiate with Real Madrid over Mbappe. They would rather sell him to any other club in the world than Real Madrid. So, this is really at a standpoint where nobody knows what's going to happen. We're just standing here and looking at each other, and nothing is being done. Mbappe did his due diligence, whatever it's called. Mbappe did his part, and he told PSG, "Listen, I'm not going to renew. I'm not going to renew." And I hope you understand that. I hope you get it. I hope you grasp that I'm not going to renew it. The contract. I'm not saying I want to leave. I'm not saying sell me. I'm not saying any of that. But he just said, whatever you come up with, I'm going to decline. I'm going to go. I'm not going to stay at PSG. So that right there just tells you, like, hey, he's not interested. So basically, they don't have another choice other than to sell him. They have to sell him. They don't have another choice. And so at this point, they're also with their hands tied. PSG is, and it is a tough situation, because what do they do? You know what I mean? So we will see how this unfolds. Real Madrid, PSG, that's about it for him. I mean, I know that. To be honest, I think what's going to happen is he's just going to wait until next year when he's a free agent and join Real Madrid as a free agent. But Real Madrid Madridistas fully don't trust Mbappe's word. And I've been talking to a bunch of them. And if you're listening and you haven't given me your opinion yet, you're more than welcome. You can go to the YouTube channel and comment on any other videos. I'm sure this clip will be on there as well. And you can tell me what do you think on this subject, because I mean, it's not, Mbappe is a great player, but Madridismo, they're known, their fans are tough, man. You screwed our club once. You didn't have to do all that talk. You didn't have to say, I've been wanting to play for Real Madrid since I was little, hanging up Cristiano Ronaldo's posters on my wall. You didn't have to do all that. You see what I'm saying? And now all of a sudden, you did it, and then you said, no, I'm staying at PSG. So that's kind of contradictory, and therefore he is not trusted. And other clubs in Europe watched how that unfolded, and they're like, man, if we talk to Mbappe, he might say yes, but can we really trust his word? Can we really trust that? It's gonna be tough to see how that unfolds. I mean, I do believe he's gonna go to Real Madrid. I don't think I don't think there's nothing to worry about there. I don't. But at the end of the day, it still makes you wonder. It definitely makes you wonder on what could happen there at in Paris. And Le Parisien, who usually has good information on how this can go, they talked and they said they gathered the information that neither side want to give in. Therefore, it's just there, stuck. And we just have to wait and see, really. And also, on the last match, or the French last match that they played, Mbappe talked. And he also said, when asked about the Ballon d'Or, can he win the Ballon d'Or? Will he win the Ballon d'Or? What he thinks on how this can unfold. And he said himself, I think I meet the criteria. This kind of ego, all these players of this caliber, they have it, and they love it, and they thrive on it. And so he said it like, listen, man, I can easily win this thing. And this is the type of player we're talking about. I mean, he is there in the fight. I don't know what you guys think. Like I said, you can, more than likely you can go to YouTube and comment on there and let me know what you think. But these are tough situations, man. These are tough situations. I mean, to be honest, there's no clear-cut player that I can say deserves it. You can say Haaland. He scored the most goals in Premier League history. He broke history over there, and that could be rewarded. He won the Champions League, even though he didn't do well in the Champions League final. So that right there in itself could be something that you can say, okay, he can take it. Messi won the World Cup with Argentina, so that could count. But also Mbappe took him to the finals. But I don't think Mbappe has won enough to be. He hasn't won really anything. I mean, the French league. I mean, we already know people don't take that serious. So we will see how that happens. I'm not for sure. Who else can win it? I think it's Mbappe, Haaland, maybe Messi. But I will say this: I don't think they're going to give it to Messi. Seeing how he left Europe, he's out of Europe. He's going to the United States to play, which, by the way, he's set to debut July 25th against Cruz Azul of Mexico. So, but they're not going to reward him with a European title, European Ballon d'Or, and he just went to America. That's not going to happen. But I think it's Kylian and Haaland. I think this is like one of those Ballon d'Ors that are low-level Ballon d'Ors. Like there's no level of competition like Messi, Ronaldo, the phenom, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho. I don't think we've seen that, and we'll see what happens there. But I think they will give it to Haaland over Mbappe. But you never know with French football; they're French, so they might change their mind, even though they say it goes by votes. But it is what it is. I don't think. I think some things are rigged and done for a reason. Let's go to your transfer rumor report quickly and swiftly. Transfer rumor report, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, transfer rumor report. Okay. All right. Well, there's a lot of things, not a lot of big changes or anything like that. Kane is the top of the story, of course, and seeing how and what he's going to do with his future. Certainly not, anything crazy going on right now in the transfer window. But there's some updates and there's some things to confirm. Harry Kane's future is likely to be the saga of the summer now that Kylian Mbappe's letter controversy has seemingly, and at least for now, run its course. We'll see what happens there. The Tottenham striker has 1 year left on his contract, and it seems to have his pick of options going into the summer. All right, as we move on forward, Arsenal. Hey, by the way, I'm going to speak on some transfers here, but we usually try to do the transfer rumor report the quickest as possible on because we can't dwell too much on those, but there are certain moves that we can dig and kind of a little bit expand on what's happening, and definitely we got to do that with this player, and that is Kai Havertz. Arsenal are making an improved offer for Kai Havertz, and that is because Chelsea was like, listen, that 50 million you put up, it ain't gonna get it done. And that's according to the Daily Mail's Sami Mukbel, who said on Tuesday that after seeing their initial 50 million bid turned down, the Gunners have returned with a second bid worth of 55 million upfront, with a further 5 mil in bonuses. I still think it's short for what Chelsea want to get for this German international. I think it's short, but the North London club reportedly already have a broad agreement in place over Havertz's personal terms, with the German international offered a long-term contract worth 210,000 euros per week. Chelsea are said to value the 24-year-old at a 70 to 75 million euro price, and it remains to be seen whether they're willing to come down on that price or whether Arsenal are looking to go up. We just do not know what's going to happen there, and it would be kind of not weird, but it would kind of difficult to see Havertz in Arsenal. I mean, he is a great player. Don't get me wrong. I think he would be a great addition to the Gunners, but I feel like he should have been with them a little bit longer. I do believe that. All right, let's move on quickly and swiftly with Chelsea transfer news. Blues confirm 52 million for Christopher Nkunku, signing from Leipzig. Also this Tuesday, they have agreed. Christopher has agreed to a 6-year deal at Chelsea. Blues understood that to have paid France International 52 million release clause, and Nkunku contributed 16 goals and 6 assists in 25 league games for Leipzig this season. I mean, just a good player. I mean, you see it right there in the highlights, but if you don't see it, if you're just listening, tremendous player, man. And I think he's going to be a good player. I mean, signed to a 6-year deal. He's guaranteed a contract for 6 years. They didn't pay too much for this type of player when it regards to the market today. But I think overall 60 million release clause, which came into effect this summer. I think it's a nice transfer. He said, "I'm incredibly happy to be joining Chelsea." He also said, "A big effort was made to bring me to the club, and I am looking forward to meeting my new coach and teammates and showing the Chelsea supporters what I can do on the pitch." He also said, "Having played in League One and Bundesliga, I now want to play in the Premier League. one of the strongest league in the world. I am very excited for this challenge and will be proud to wear the Chelsea shirt. Like I said, 16 goals and provided 6 assists in 25 games. That is a pretty tough season, especially with Leipzig. I mean, you're talking about Leipzig, man. I'm not talking about Bayern Munich. This is not, just your regular team. It's interesting to see that. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. And what we're going to talk about Declan Rice, don't we? Declan Rice, man, what's happening? Arsenal bid is declined. I see that, or no? Okay, well let's see what was happening. Declan Rice was made West Ham captain last summer. Arsenal signed Jorginho in January, but Arteta remains keen to strengthen his midfield, and they want to get him, of course. And Arsenal have made a formal bid worth 90 million for West Ham Declan Rice. He's a player that a lot of teams want now. Chelsea, Manchester United, and Arsenal between who we're talking about. Spending Havertz. They rather pay more money here because they put 90 mil offer on the table and only 50 for Havertz. Obviously, they see that this player, Declan Rice, is more important at this moment. So, I mean, the Gunners had their opening offer at 80 million that was declined. And, West Ham, they really want 120 million for him. So we'll see. I don't think Arsenal is going to go up that high, but I mean, it could happen that they're able to negotiate. They offer 90 million now. I see them go. I think 95 is what Arsenal is going to try to go, because they're trying to get Havertz as well. They really want to strengthen. Arsenal is going all out this transfer market. Trust me. The way they lost the last Premier League, they don't want to do that. They do not want to do that. And they definitely know that their supporters are holding them at bay of the way they lost. So Arsenal are prepared to break their record fee, 72 million paid to sign Nicolas Pepe, also from Lille, in 2019, if they get Declan Rice. So Arsenal, see, that's like 2019, and they paid 72 mil for Nicolas Pepe. I mean, that shouldn't be nothing when it comes to Declan Rice, who has been playing well. And by the way, Manchester City, who has the money, and Manchester United, who will have the money because Qatar is buying them, they want to get him as well. So they gotta move quick, man. They got to move quickly and swiftly. All right. All right, let's see what we got as far as top news, man. What's going on in the football world, man? Please let me know what's going on in the football world. Okay, let's just run through some things here, because news are always changing every second. By the way, Al Ittihad made it official. N'Golo Kante is signing with Chelsea. Not with Chelsea, with Ittihad. As his Chelsea exit is confirmed, of course. Man, N'Golo Kante, I wish him the best, man. He just seems like such a nice guy and a great competitor, and just a player that you want to wish him the best at all times. So we'll see. What else? Cristiano Ronaldo makes history with 200th international appearance. I mean, that's pretty nice. Hey, Jack Grealish is still partying. My goodness, he needs to get over that, man. We need to get back on. Is he training with England? Newcastle submit a 50 million bid for young Milan midfielder Sandro Tonali. So that's another one that we'll be keeping our eye on. A lot of just transfers, man. Rumors and stuff like that we already spoke about. By the way, the USA in the Gold Cup. The Gold Cup is coming up, the 2023 Gold Cup for the U.S. national men's team. They will be looking to secure their 8th CONCACAF Gold Cup win in this tournament that starts this week, Saturday. I believe we are having that game live. You can watch along with me live here on the channel, and we are able to on YouTube or Twitch. Obviously, it won't be on Spotify because we can't go live there, but definitely you can join us there. And it will take place in 15 stadiums, 14 cities across the U.S. and Canada this summer, with the final scheduled the 16th of July in the 17th edition of the competition. So 17 years already. Like I said, if you're from this area, if you're from the U.S., you got to root for your national team, man. And that is, in my case, the U.S. men's team, who are going to debut against Jamaica. Against Jamaica, yep. This Saturday, I believe. Yeah, this Saturday. So, not all the players. I mean, all the European players are not going to be there. You know, of course, Pulisic, Reina, Balogun, Dest. You know, I'm probably forgetting a few, but you know. So this is going to be an interesting thing of how we do on this Gold Cup, because we're not going to have our best players, but I'm going to like to see how the younger players handle this Gold Cup. And listen, if the U.S. wins it with the B team, it's going to be bad. The U.S. is already top of the cream right now. They're top, and they're the best national team in this area. So the debate is settled. The U.S. national man team, kings of CONCACAF, once again beating Canada. Yesterday, I did a video that's doing pretty well, actually. I did a video on that, and it's interesting to see the reaction from people. What's been transpiring as far as the opinions, the fans. A lot of the fans are not. I mean, they're happy that the U.S. won, of course, but they're not excited over the moon. This is not something that they're talking to right now, or that they could have missed work for, you know. And that is something that is interesting to see. Interesting, definitely, because I expected a lot more people to be, you know, more excited. And but I got a lot of comments also saying, listen, we're not a team that's going to be excited over a Nations League. We're not a team team that's going to be excited, that we're just waiting for to win this, and then now we're going to throw a part. No, we want more. A lot of people are not happy about Berhalter coming back to the U.S. national men's team, and you know, that is something to talk about, because the U.S. just became, you know, they just won the Nations League. People should be happy, and a lot of people are happy. I mean, it's not like they're not, but certainly not over the moon excited of this championship, so to speak. You know, I'm kind of having tough times calling it championship. Listen, you know, U.S. Soccer made this. U.S. Soccer, okay, CONCACAF made this tournament in talks with U.S. Soccer, Mexican Federation League, or Mexican Federation, and the Canadian Federation as the top, you know, of the top federations to put this together in order to gain money, because that's what they like. They want money, and so they got it with this Nations League. But I'm getting a lot of talk. You know, a lot of fans are like, "Listen, we're not. This is not something that we're over the moon about. You know, it is what it is. The U.S. is at the moment at the top of the cream right now. They are, you know, as the title says, as the thumbnail says, the king of CONCACAF. That is bottom line. The U.S. men's national team is at the top of the sport here in Central America and North America, and it is what it is. How far can it go? As for the U.S. men's national team, how far can they go right now is the concern. You know, they won the Nations League. Mexico is not good. Canada yesterday certainly didn't show any progression. I mean, Alfonso Davis was there, but he didn't do much. So how far more can the U.S. Where's the competitors for the U.S. that can make the U.S. team better? Mexico, like I said, it's always going to be there. They're a derby, but they're not performing at a top level right now. And plus, besides Mexico, who else do you have other than Canada every now and then, Costa Rica every now and then, Panama every now and then? But right now, Panama is not good. It's not looking good at all. And then after that, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? You're not gonna get any better at this point from just as far as competitors. You're not getting quality. You're not competing against quality teams, and that is something that we need to revisit. In future conversations. And we can so a little bit now, of course. We got a lot of news to get to, a lot of U.S. soccer news, and a lot of European soccer also that we need to discuss, that we need to talk about. And so it is concerning because, I mean, the Gold Cup used to be the tournament for CONCACAF, where Mexicans, they brought everything. I mean, they actually divide. They used to divide their teams into one would go to Copa America, who they used to get invited to all the time. And then the best usually would go to the Gold Cup. And they would say, listen, we're probably not going to win the Copa America. You got Argentina, Uruguay, Brazil, and like Peru, it gets tough in Copa America. They got these other teams. So, and actually Mexico got to a finals many, many decades ago. They weren't able to capitalize and win. But listen, the money is in the Gold Cup simply because Mexican Americans fill up the stadiums, and it's easier to win. And for the U.S., it was always the Gold Cup. In the beginning, it was always about beating Mexico. Couldn't do it in a lot of times. So, but now, definitely the past 10 years, things have definitely changed, and for the better. And right now, the U.S. is reigning through the CONCACAF like nothing. So, my point was that the Gold Cup was the number one thing that everybody looked for. And now the U.S. is about to send a team, like a B team, B close to C team of players, because, of course, the players that played in Europe, they're not able to, nor they want to either, stay and compete for a Gold Cup that they won many times. And quite frankly, it's not going to make a difference. So that is, what they think, the players. Also, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, the U.S. didn't have very many players in Europe like today. Today is actually probably the most ever. You had a few, Howard, goalkeeper, then you had the other goalkeeper, that bald guy, I can't remember his name no more, Gusan or something like that. And but older player. And then you had Landon Donovan that played at Bayern Munich for just a short period of time, and that was it. You have Josie Altidore, of course. He played at Villarreal. He played at in different teams, but it was just short. I mean, Bradley, of course, also played in Rome. But now, I mean, you got players in part of the U.S. national team that you didn't even know existed. As far as I didn't know existed. I didn't know a lot of these players that were playing in Europe. Like, I didn't know about Ballo, until not too long ago. It's not like you knew these players. You just didn't. And now all of a sudden they're all over the place, and they're able to. It's a norm now. I mean, if you say an American player is playing overseas in Europe, it used to be, okay, let me see what is that guy? Who is that guy? He must be good. Now it's not so much that anymore, and that is an important deal. an important deal. And so the U.S. winning the National League, the Nations Cup or the Nations League, you know, I'm not saying that that's not enough of a trophy, enough of a championship. I think it's very interesting to keep winning these, but you also have to know what else can you do. And this is also going to be a good test for the U.S. team when it comes to pairing again in the Gold Cup with this team, with this B team. How can they perform under these circumstances, not having all the starters, and I'm talking about 6 players are going to be gone, at least, if I'm not mistaken. Balo's going to be gone. Pepe probably going to be gone. Pulisic for sure. McKinney, Dest, that's 5 right there. And the goalkeeper, of course. There's a lot of, this is going to be interesting how they can manage. And, certainly I don't want to say that the Nations League doesn't matter. I was certainly happy. I wanted them to win. I celebrated the goals. But it doesn't fill me up. You know what I mean? It doesn't fill me up as a fan to watch the U.S. beat Canada for the Nations League. Maybe for the Gold Cup, since we're used to always, competing for that, maybe it's going to be different. But certainly didn't feel that as much. I was more concerned about the show and how what the opinion was, what the fans thought about it. And that was one of the most important things for me at that point. Of course, seeing the U.S. win, that was a definitely plus. That was a definite plus. But the U.S. has been at the top of the CONCACAF for a long, long time. To be honest with you, I don't even think it's even close. I don't think Mexico is near. I don't. They just fired Diego Coca. They just fired him. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how that develops. That is it for the show this time. I've had some technical issues that, I've had to record these episodes over and over and over, and hopefully that won't happen again. But it's been really exhausting fast the last couple of days. I'm sorry. But anyways, my name is Chris Rodriguez. Thank you for being at the Soccer Talk podcast. By the way, join us on YouTube. We're getting a lot of attention there. And thank you for listening on the podcast here on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, anywhere, everywhere. We're on it.